Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Shavi Zane. Just coming on to bring a message for you all real quick in regards to this spiritual journey. One thing that I can say, being on this spiritual path myself, is that when you become intentional about opening up your third eye and being able to see things from a spiritual perspective, a lot of times the encounters that we have with people in our daily lives become more than just simple encounters, okay? You get to a place where you start to recognize, okay, this is not my first time here. And so therefore, this is likely not my first time encountering this person or that person. And depending on the position that that person has in your life, you also recognize that, you can identify certain people as being soulmates, whether they were romantic partners, friendships from a past life, even family members. And so when you have that type of sensitivity and understanding, life becomes a lot more than what meets the eye, at least on the physical plane. You start to see just how spiritual this thing really is, and simple encounters are no longer just simple encounters. You start to see that there's a reason for this. There was a purpose behind this. One way that I identify with it is, a lot of times, like, let's just say I'm driving and I have somewhere that I have to be and I end up getting rerouted for whatever reason. I might run into someone, maybe if I have to stop at the gas station or at the store. And sometimes there's those types of connections that you have with people, male or female, whoever it is, where it's so familiar that you recognize them. You recognize that you know them, not in the physical plane though, but more on a spiritual level. And so when I have those types of encounters, I never walk away from it thinking that there was no meaning behind it. Generally, I'm usually called to say a prayer for that person with the intentions of, praying that their generational curses are broken and that they rise into their divinity, that they awaken to who they've been created to be. And whatever that encounter was supposed to mean, whether it was supposed to be an exchange of energy or, because sometimes that exchange of energy can actually awaken something within you. Running into someone who you recognize on a spiritual level can bring you into remembrance of something that you might have known in a past life, or activate something within you. And so when you start to look at things from a spiritual perspective, nothing is just a simple encounter. On a deeper level, you might also find that, especially when it comes to romantic encounters, when you awaken on a spiritual level, you start to realize that, okay, I know you. Even though you didn't know that person in this lifetime, you know that you know them. It feels too familiar. But not every soulmate encounter is meant to be a forever encounter. Sometimes, again, you might even come across romantic soulmates who you might have had a partnership with in a past life, and it can trigger something within you in terms of your heart chakra. It can really awaken some things, and there could be the strong pull, the strong desire to be with that person or to know that person or to keep that person in your life. But we have to recognize that the veil is very thin now, okay? And so obviously reality is you can't be with every soulmate romantically, at least not forever. And not every romantic soulmate from a past life is meant to be a romantic partner in this lifetime. Sometimes there's a contractual agreement that the two of you may have in terms of, okay, we're going to meet, we're going to have this exchange, we're going to awaken one another spiritually. You'll be able to give me some guidance, I'll be able to give you some guidance, or energetically, there's always something. It's purposeful, okay? The exchange has a meaning, you meeting that person, but it's not always a forever thing. And so that's something that we have to come to terms with when we're taking this spiritual journey, because it's not always easy walking away from someone that you recognize from a past life, because that connection is very, very strong and it's very, very spiritual. But keeping in mind that we're spirits having a human experience. And so you're going to meet many, who knows, if you're an old soul and you've been here many, many lifetimes, you might encounter many, many soulmates, even on a romantic scale. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot be with all of them. And so therefore we have to learn how to adjust to having these types of connections and knowing how to see it from a higher perspective, not getting ourselves too caught up in it emotionally, because we remember that feeling, we remember maybe that passion or that desire from a past life. We have to learn how to accept it for what it is, receive the awakening or whatever we came into one another, into each other's lives to bring, and then move forward. And so I wanted to bring this message forward because I myself, I've recognized that, I've had multiple encounters, males, females, some of them where I've recognized it was like, this is a past life soulmate that I had a romantic connection with. Others where it was like, okay, I know this person. Sometimes I've even had encounters with people who I knew them from a past life, but it was on a negative level. Like, okay, this person does not like me. I know nothing about them in this lifetime. They know nothing about me in this lifetime, but I recognize that they may have been an enemy in a past life. They may have been a foe. You see what I'm saying? And so they may come in and also trigger something to bring into remembrance, like a past life trauma or some sort of pain that took place, some sort of fear or whatever the case may be, in order to trigger that so that you can also do the work to sweep out and to release and to clear out past life traumas, okay? Because you don't want to neglect that part. We do a lot of work on healing ourselves in this lifetime from traumas and pains that have taken place in this lifetime. And quite often we forget that we are old souls. We've been here multiple times. And so you want to do the cleaning up from past life energy too. You might say, I destroy and release all past life traumas, all past life pain, all pain and trauma that I've caused to others, and pain and trauma that others have caused to me in spirit and in flesh. And you burn that. You see what I'm saying? Because when we come in each lifetime, there's always residual energy from the past life that still has to be played out in the next lifetime. And this is why it's so important when you come into your spiritual awakening that you are intentional about being the best version of yourself. You are intentional about rising into your divinity. That way, when you come back again, if it's meant for you to come back again, because we're constantly evolving beings, so you may have more to do here on planet Earth. When you come back again, you don't want to have to repeat the same karmic cycles and lessons because you just didn't get it in this lifetime. So it's like, okay, do the cleaning up, clear the energy out, rise into your divinity, heal yourself, become the best version of yourself, And so we all have these encounters with various soulmates, whether they're good or bad, negative or positive, in order to awaken something within us. Some of them are forever soulmates and others are just passing through. Some of them are just for a few seasons. And so we have to learn to accept that. And especially for those encounters that just really pull at your heart, we have to learn how to feel it and embrace the fact that, okay, you've connected with someone that you know from a past life. Embrace the beautiful feelings that comes with that, and then release, knowing that that person has already played their position in your life, or if they're still in your life, but that it's not for a forever type of thing, knowing that it may not be what it was in the past life. It may not match the energy from a past life. You might have come in to do something different in this lifetime, whereas it might have been romantic in the past life. In this lifetime, that person may just be a very good friend. That person may just be a very good business partner, or someone that you seek guidance from, or someone that you give guidance to, whatever the case may be. We have to accept that not every lifetime we're going to play the same roles in one another's lives. and just learn to love from a different space, okay? So I love you all. I just wanted to bring that for those of you who have had the same encounters where it's like, I know this feels so familiar. Is this supposed to be my person? Or, what is this supposed to be? I know that this is a soulmate. It feels too familiar. I understand it. And the more that your spiritual eyes open, you also will understand what those encounters are, and you will understand why you have such a magnetic draw or pull to certain people, or a familiar feeling with certain people. And you'll start to recognize that it's just so much bigger than what we was taught. It's so much bigger than what we was led to believe by society, and through religious belief systems and things like that. This thing is spiritual, and it's all for the greatest good. It's all for the greatest good, whether it's a negative soulmate or a positive one. It's all for the greatest good of your growth and evolutionary process. So I love you all. If you want a private reading, email me. If you want to order my cards, email me, and I will talk to you all next time.